A personal friend of mine called me and was expressing some frustration with their supervisor because the individual is not very strong when it comes to the area of emotional intelligence. And in our channel, we talk a lot about this, things like empathy and self awareness and affirmation and praise and recognition and all those wonderful things that lead to motivation and passion and high morale and all the rest of it. But sometimes you're just going to work for a leader that doesn't have these skills or doesn't see the value in them. We hope that everybody we would celebrate these things, but clearly that's not the case. So what do? We all have a boss. We all have a supervisor. Sometimes they're not going to recognize us. They don't speak the language of emotional intelligence. They speak some sort of language. How do we communicate with these people? 5 things that I want to tell you on how do we handle it. Let me list them and then we'll go into them. Number 1, refuse the temptation to become frustrated or to give up. Number 2, let's consider the language that he or she does speak. Number 3, you have to learn to encourage yourself. Number 4, upward leadership. We need to practice that. Number 5, keep producing with excellence. So let's break these things down. Remember, we're dealing with people that do not possess this skill of emotional intelligence. Number 1, you need to refuse the temptation to become frustrated or to give up. It can be demoralizing. It can be debilitating. It could be upsetting. It could be frustrating. You could ask yourself questions like, why do I do this? And why do I bother? And people don't even recognize it. People don't even praise me. That is a trap in itself, because at the end of the day, that may ultimately cost you your job. So we're going to refuse that. We're going to reject that. We're not going to give into all that toxicity and negative emotion and things that deplete us from our energy, our strength, and our passion. And we are going to thrive. Number 2, then we need to consider the language that your boss does speak. Are they bottom line oriented? Are they numbers oriented? Are they financial oriented? What is it that they look for? What is it that they demand? What is their expectation? What speaks to them? Understand their language and begin to speak on that level rather than just having an expectation of, why don't you praise me? Why don't you recognize me? Why don't you see the things that I'm accomplishing? Number 3, my friends, some days, you just got to learn to encourage yourself. You need to look at your value, your worth, what you bring to the table, what you have done well. Even if someone will not give you a pat on the back or give you accolades, or you're not the employee of the month or anything like that, you have to be able to look at some of the things that you're doing really well and say, you know what, I've done good. I've really accomplished this. I'm really proud of myself. I'm not talking about arrogance or anything like that, but an accurate definition, an accurate understanding of where you are within your development and within your organization. Upward leadership. What am I talking about? Well, maybe you need to implement the very things that are not being used with you, such as active listening, encouragement, affirmation, praise. The very things that you're asking for, the very things that you would want that are not being given to you, maybe you need to practice them with your supervisor, with your boss. Maybe they catch on. Maybe as they think, wow, this really works for me, maybe I should do it with other people. And by the way, here's what also I would say in this area: don't lead your people the way you're being led. So if you don't appreciate something, don't then cause your people to have to go through it as well. As a leader, I've learned 2 things from every person I've met: what to do, what not to do, what to do and what not to do, what to implement and what not to implement, what was painful, and therefore I'm not going to give it to other people. Don't just pass it on because that's the way it was done to me. And then finally, keep producing and keep doing it with excellence. My friends, listen, even though people don't speak the language of emotional intelligence and they may not practice these things, I want you to know and understand people are smart. People know the value you bring. People know your worth. People know what you're doing, what you're accomplishing. And in their own little way, maybe it's not public, maybe it's, it's not raw. In their own little way, they will acknowledge you. They understand that you're an essential part of the team, and they will give you credit, maybe not publicly, but privately. People are not stupid. They don't want to get rid of people that are of high value to the organization. So you have a decision to make. Either you fall into the trap or you rise above it. You can look at it as a problem and get frustrated, or you can look at it as an opportunity to develop your own leadership, your own strength, and your own ability. This is a muscle. This is a leadership muscle that needs to be developed. It's probably seasonal. It's not going to last forever. You won't be in it. Who knows? Maybe your next boss will be full of accolades and praise and all the rest of it, and the things that you want to hear. But maybe in this season, maybe that's not what you're going to experience. Whatever it is, you have a tremendous opportunity to develop this leadership muscle, to encourage yourself, and then lead others, maybe in ways you are not being led yourself. As always, we'd love to hear your questions, your comments, your thoughts. Like, subscribe, and all those wonderful things. I'm Dr. Tony Soldano. Thank you for joining me today.